Good morning, everybody, and welcome to session 3 of the Streamline Operations and Empower Employees in the Modern Workplace session. Today's session is about security and security of the modern workplace and how we secure from chip to cloud. Firstly, I want to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we individually gather today. I also acknowledge the Jagera and Turrbal peoples of modern-day Brisbane, in which our head office is located. I pay my respects to the elders past and present. I extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today. As I mentioned, this is the third session in our series. So the first session was around the what's new in the Surface portfolio. We then had a session on modern management to help you work smarter, not harder. We're talking about security today, and the upcoming sessions, we've got a session on collaboration, so all things meeting room. And then we've also got a session on devices as a service to shift from procuring devices and managing itself to procuring an outcome. So I encourage you to scan the QR code up there in the top right-hand corner to register for any of the upcoming sessions, but also to view any of the sessions we've already recorded, which are available on demand if you missed any of the previous sessions. In terms of the presenters today, there's myself. I'm Scott Gosling. I'm the National Practice Manager of Microsoft Solutions here at Data3. And it's my absolute privilege to be joined by Srikanth, who's a security solutions architect specialising in Microsoft security, on the call with me today. The team at the bottom of the screen is our Surface team. So we've got Sam White, we've got Angelo DePaz and Mia as well. And that team will be able to assist you with anything you want to understand further about Surface after this session. So they'll be able to organise demos and eval kit as well. So we'll get those details out if you want to contact anybody in your state to actually get any more information on Surface. So what are we going to cover today? We're going to talk about the security overview and a bit of the state of the market. Srikanth's going to do a deep dive in endpoint security and then also talk about why Surface is a more secure option with endpoint security. And then we're going to do a bit of a summary and close. So firstly, what's it like out there at the moment? It's an interesting sort of universe that IT departments have to support, where we've got some users in permanent remote. We've got some users in a hybrid scenario where they might spend a couple of days in the office and the rest of the time at home. There's also a very diverse set of endpoints that are coming into the network. And to add a bit of complexity on top of that, what we're seeing a lot of customers with multi-cloud is managing those different cloud environments and trying to then manage threats and respond across those multiple clouds is very, very difficult. It's also difficult to roll out new security controls with different tooling, different security solutions. So it becomes quite hard to manage that. And then we've got the rise of bad actors exploiting current vulnerabilities. Zero-day attacks are on the rise. There doesn't seem to be a lot of white hat sort of activity around disclosure. And the sophistication is actually getting worse with nation state actors and seemingly unlimited resources exploiting those vulnerabilities. And the challenge is even worse if you do get compromised, because current networks aren't optimized to prevent lateral movement once you actually do get breached. And the endpoint and the end user continues to be a large vector for people to attack. There's a 230% increase in password spray attacks. People are still using unsanctioned or what are considered risky applications, with a lot of corporate data being uploaded to that. And nearly 1/3 of all attacks on enterprise accounts involve phishing. So they're going after the end user using, emails and what look like, corporate email communications coming from malicious actors that are trying to compromise those end users. And I'm not probably the best coder that ever lived, and so if I was going to get into the business of cybercrime, it'd be quite difficult for me to go and build an attack. But did you know you can actually then do this as a service? So I could go out tomorrow and say I can hire an attacker for just $250 for a job. If I wanted a ransomware kit, I could pay $66 up front, and it's only 13 cents or up to 89 cents to get access to a compromised PC. So we've got bad actors who are running networks of infected computers that I can just rent as a service. Spear phishing is only $100 for an attack, and it's only 97 cents per 1,000 stolen usernames and passwords. So you don't even have to actually have the skills to build these attacks. You can actually rent them as a service. So that just makes life even more complex for IT departments. And why is defense so difficult? And if you're in the SecOps area, you probably understand these challenges yourself. But trying to manage and monitor and protect across these different vectors is very difficult. So we've got email, we've got endpoint, identity, cloud apps, workloads themselves, we've got the network. And probably with every one of those solutions comes a different console. So there's also console proliferation to actually monitor across all of those different areas that SecOps professionals have to manage and monitor as well, which makes life even more difficult. And security affects more than just the IT department. So if you think about the C-suite inside your organization, 3 years after an attack, a breached company underperforms the index of their sector by a margin of 40%. So it hurts the organization for a long period of time after breach. 96% of cyber criminals are attacking your network or other networks to try and get intelligence, such as proprietary IP. And the nation state actors and the well-known ones are absolutely after proprietary IP, especially in sectors like healthcare and defence. HR operations, so if you think about the average cost of downtime for your organisation, with just your payroll costs, is 24 times higher than the average ransom amount, which makes it no surprise why people pay the ransom. But then that also funds those malicious actors to actually then continue to do bad activity. And then also organisations are exposed to lawsuits and fines, so that companies can be sued by customers whose PII has been stolen or fined by regulatory agencies as well. So we're here today to talk about Microsoft and security with the security products and Surface. And Microsoft has got a great end-to-end story now for security. They've got Defender for 365 for the whole endpoint side of security, but they've also got Defender for cloud to actually protect cloud as well. And then Sentinel is their SIEM to give you visibility across your organization, which provides the XDR solution. I think the other thing that's changed a lot with Microsoft is also the support for the third parties. So, they're protecting across different cloud providers there on the right-hand side and different endpoint solutions on the left-hand side as well. So they have got a lot more broad and provide security solutions just outside the Microsoft stack as well. But today we're going to talk about endpoint, and the Defender provides solutions across protection for identity, the endpoint itself, cloud applications, and also email collaboration. So even just the Defender for the Microsoft 365 Defender solution provides a pretty comprehensive solution across those different threat avenues that we talked about before. And obviously that's all underpinned by Sentinel, which is the SIEM that pulls together the visibility across all of those different areas within the Defender suite itself. So with that, I'm going to hand across to Srikanth, and Sri's going to dive into more about the endpoint security. So Sri, over to you.
Thanks, Scott. Good morning, everyone. My name is Srikanth. As Scott mentioned, I'm a Microsoft security architect. I will talk about endpoint security briefly, and then we'll go into the security features of Surface. Let's start off with the complexity of technology across in the organization. This is a very common occurrence for organizations. Obviously, we have the email protection, you've got the endpoint protection, the lateral movement or the network protection. Then obviously organizations are starting to move to the cloud. And obviously we need cloud protection as well. So this is a good example of a typical organization with various technologies. Again, best of breed. Best of breed, pretty good in what they do. But when it comes to crunch, again, it's you got to look at 6 different monitors to figure out what's going on and how to mitigate it. Time is of the essence, right? Let's take a look at how today's current security complexities manifest. This attack kill chain may look very similar. It illustrates how a successful phishing attempt works its way through an organization, compromising user account, subsequent lateral movement to access high-level assets, and then exfiltration of the data, or worse, the entire domain being compromised. We painfully know how these attacks can take weeks and months to execute. We also know that detecting, responding, and successfully remediating these attacks is a slow process involving different security groups and requiring different tools. What we also see are the different popular security solutions that are acquired across the kill chain. It requires significant orchestration, right, to ensure each of these point solutions are working together to ensure nothing slips through the cracks. It's again typical. You can relate this to your day-to-day operations. What I'm going to show in the next slide is how Microsoft, as a security provider, a vendor, can give you that end-to-end single pane of glass management. Again, similar MITRE kill chain, and how the Microsoft security capabilities are working in concert with one another across the kill chain. The Microsoft Security Integrated approach uses AI and automation to automatically detect potential threats while being backed up by a vast scale of insights of the intelligent security graph. In this situation, alerts from the security graph are picked up, which kicks off an automated investigation that removes malicious attachments and detonates URLs. So this is possible through automated investigation playbooks that have been curated by Microsoft. You get out-of-the-box playbooks, so you don't have to recreate. Working in concert with other integrated approach to containing threats and then automatically remediating it. Replicating this type of automated threat remediation is not only challenging with today's point solutions, but infeasibly expensive. So with the click of a button, you can integrate all these solutions, giving you that single pane of management, and again remediating your threats much quicker than now. The next slide basically is again, all this can feed into, again, the key to this slide is obviously you can act on what you see. All right, so having all these tools providing their events and providing the logs into a log collector, a SIEM solution, and acting on those gives you that extra set of protection as well. Let's now go into the securing the surface, how what the advantages having a surface as your endpoint is. So just an introduction on the Surface device itself. It's obviously been designed by Microsoft. Surface devices are built to be simple to set up and secure straight out of the box. And because the same vendor providing the hardware as well as the operating system, designed to be optimal experience for obviously Windows 11 as being the latest operating system version, but it works equally well with Microsoft 365 and Windows 10 as well. So you can expect an easy access to the apps you need, a powerful productivity. From the moment you power on, Windows operating system is working to keep you protected with layers of industry-leading security built into every Surface device. Protected by Microsoft, we take away the worry, leaving you with the peace of mind to focus on what matters to you as well. Now, every level of Surface from chip to cloud is maintained by Microsoft, giving you the peace of mind, giving you ultimate control, proactive protection, and peace of mind whenever and however work gets done. proactively block threats with Microsoft built UEFIs that was tested and developed on Surface first. Quickly and easily encrypt your data, such as Windows Hello credentials with the TPM 2.0 chipsets that is embedded in all Surface devices. With the hardware features such as biometric, secure sign-in, and comprehensive Windows security features, especially Windows 11 and Windows 10, that don't stop protecting you. Surface is designed to keep you and your loved ones safe. Your privacy is in your control, giving you the ability to make meaningful choices over how the data is used, leaving people with the peace of mind to focus on what matters to them. So here's some interesting stats. This came out of Forrester, who did a study on Surface in 2019. They've updated the study recently, early this year. Just to give you an example, it's basically saved, the study has revealed that it saved about 2.5 hours per application provisioning request and over 25 minutes in configuring each device. So this is the Surface working with your MDM solutions like Intunes and SCCMs, giving that extra benefit of provisioning your applications and also setting up the device in a quick time. It has also helped reduce help desk calls for password resets, which is one of the most common requests from users, and that's basically helped the help desk from eliminating, because Surface got a built-in with Windows Hello. Surface has got the automation in process to basically make sure that the passwords are reset by the end user themselves. And with the security built into Surface, the remediation costs have reduced by 80%, and the number of annual breaches have reduced by 50%. Using multi-factor authentication, advanced threat analytics, Surface Enterprise Management Mode, the composite organization reduced the breach remediation costs of nearly $1 million over a 3-year analysis as well. Again, some more details on how secure Surface is from the Surface's root of trust check signatures and measurements at each stage is to tightly ensure each stage is secure and authentic before allowing the next phase of boot to proceed. So giving you that extra peace of mind. Partnering again with leading PC manufacturers and silicon vendors. Secured core PCs use industry standard hardware root of trust coupled with security capabilities built into today's modern CPUs as well. The other one is the hypervisor code integrity. Windows 10 devices and 11 devices are protected from running any unverified code. Code running within the trusted computing base runs with integrity and is not subject to exploits or attacks. One point to note here is considering the technology, the threat protection technology, as well as the hardware is being designed from the same vendor. They have access to the core of the operating system as well as the hardware where no other vendor can provide, providing that extra piece of security as well. Protect identities from external threats with Windows Hello. Credential Guard ensures that the identity and domain credentials are isolated and protected in a secure environment. Again, protecting identities is key. And hence a lot of focus has been placed on making sure that the user's identities are secure. Now, in terms of the Microsoft devices, some more information. With Microsoft devices, security is built into their DNA. It all starts with the hardware understanding if someone has tampered with the device, then the firmware or BIOS, all the way through to the cloud tools that can help you protect the endpoint from potential vulnerabilities. This is what Microsoft means when they refer to chip-to-cloud security. It's Microsoft DNA from the components all the way through the cloud management tools. The security approach begins right from hardware with data protection through encryption and secure sign-on with Windows Hello. They build their own UEFI, which gives them greater firmware management capabilities and granular control, such as enabling and disabling hardware components through SEMM and DFCI. Windows and Surface bring the best of security features with advanced protection and the recently expanded offerings for secure core PC through firmware. Experience enhanced management devices through Endpoint Manager, which is the next generation of endpoint management, which combines both SCCM and Intune into one. It also includes now Surface Management Portal, giving you insights into the health and warranty of your devices as well. So you can see how the integration is playing a good part. Now, UEFI, probably people don't understand what UEFI means. It is a unified extensible firmware interface, which is built in, which has been built by Microsoft and is currently exclusive to Surface. Since Microsoft owns their own UEFI, they are in a unique position to respond to security threats quickly and push updates seamlessly via Windows Update. Again, if you look at other vendors, one vendor might produce the actual security tool itself and another vendor doing the hardware. Again, the integration is not as seamless. UEFI acts as an interface that gives IT admins more control on firmware and allows for enabling and disabling hardware components. Example, disabling camera disables camera hardware at the UEFI level as well. So giving you that depth in defense in depth capabilities. With a DFCR, which is a device firmware configuration interface, you can manage hardware components via cloud in Endpoint Manager itself. Again, you can see that integration comes into play, making your life easier. Over to you, Scott. I hope that's given you insights into how Surface and Microsoft technologies play a part in giving you that peace of mind. Scott will now cover the rest of the presentation.
Thanks, Shrew. And you give me back control. Thank you very much. And it's nice to see we've moved on from the days of having to glue up our USB ports to keep them secure. We can now disable them in UEFI, which is fantastic. So a lot more control for enterprise admins inside IT departments to control their security. Right, so we're just going to talk about some opportunities to trial some of the fantastic technology that Shrikant has covered in that part of the presentation. So firstly, if you want to get some experience on the Surface device itself, we have a program called Test Drive. So you can experience Microsoft's chip-to-cloud security, and any one of our 3 Microsoft specialists, Samantha, Angelo, or Mia, can arrange a demo of a Surface device to come out to you. So certainly encourage you to avail yourself of that opportunity. The second is a workshop. So Data3 is Microsoft's #1 security partner in Australia. And Shrikant himself actually is one of the experienced practitioners in security that delivers those workshops in Data3. So you can learn how to put those next generation Microsoft security solutions to work in your organization and see how the better together story with Surface works for you. And then finally, post the workshop, there's also a program with funding that's tied to Surface purchase, which actually supports the deployment of some of the technology you might have outlined in the workshops. That could be maybe swapping out your current incumbent endpoint security vendor with Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, which a lot of customers are doing at the moment based on an E5 transaction. So there's a really comprehensive set of steps there from testing the Surface device, a workshop which is funded by Microsoft, so we can come in and step through how the security solutions work for you. And then there's a program called Deploy Assist where we can potentially get funding to support the deployment of the technology in your environment as well. So really comprehensive suite of offerings there to get you started. In terms of the workshops themselves, there's actually quite a few in the security space as well as modern work. So there are modern workshops for things like Teams calling, meeting room, Viva Insights, and modern management that Shrikant alluded to before. But also in security, there's a range of workshops. So going all the way from the bottom left-hand corner around endpoint security with defending against threats with SIEM and XDR. There's a compliance workshop. There's a protect and govern sensitive data. We talked about that IP example before that most of the nation state actors are after. So there's solutions to protect that. Identity, we talked about that being a common exploit vector in organizations and stealing identity. So there's solutions for that. And then securing multi-cloud as well. So there's quite a broad range of workshops available that can be tailored to your requirements that are Microsoft programs delivered by Data3. Then there's our Deploy Assist program that I mentioned before. So this is tied to a Surface purchase, and it allows Data3 to come in and help you get the most from your Surface investment. It depending on the number of devices you're purchasing, it could be up to $100,000 in funding, and then also up to $20,000 in pre-sales as well. So there's actually quite a significant amount of funding available, depending on the volume of devices you're actually purchasing, to support the actual deployment of these technologies as well. And there's all sorts of different things we can do in Deploy Assist, such as accelerating M365 deployment, Surface training and adoption, modern meetings, modern meeting rooms, and also endpoint security solutions as well. So there's a lot of different things that can be done with that funding. And why Data3? We have a dedicated Surface team. They're all actually over at Microsoft right now in Redmond. So I wish I was there with them, but yeah, we've got a dedicated team who look after our Surface business, who are evangelists and know all about the Surface solution portfolio. We've been fortunate to be globally recognised by Microsoft as the Surface Plus Partner of the Year for worldwide, and also the Worldwide Device Distributor Reseller Award as well. So we've got two fantastic recognitions of our team and the excellence we deliver to customers. We're not just a hardware provider. We've actually got a comprehensive suite of solutions around that, from our professional services, our managed services, plus also the software licensing business, where we can combine a software and hardware solution and integrate that with our award-winning professional services team as well. And we have warehousing capabilities as well. So we can stage devices, warehouse, forward order stock, and all those sort of things through our warehouses as well. Bit about Data3, if you don't know a lot about us, we've been a partner with Microsoft since 1994. We're an Azure Expert MSP, which is one of the highest certifications you can get with Microsoft, which undergoes a third-party audit. We have 10 advanced specializations across Azure, modern work, and security. We hold nearly all of the security advanced specializations now with Microsoft. We're a Surface partner with them. We won those awards I mentioned before. But we're also a migration factory partner. So Microsoft Services have partnered with Data3 to deliver at-scale Azure migration services tied to our Azure Expert MSP. So Microsoft Services has endorsed the capability of our professional services team and our managed services team to actually deliver Azure solutions for our customers. And we're Microsoft's largest Australian partner for cloud, and their #1 security partner with Microsoft as well in Australia. So with that, in terms of summary, what we talked about today is a bit about the threat landscape and why it's hard to secure a modern IT estate. Shrikant then covered Microsoft's comprehensive portfolio of security solutions that allow security at the endpoint, but then we talked about why Surface for security as well. We talked about Microsoft and how they write their own UEFI, and you can actually manage that through modern management solutions. So instead of having to go around and actually patch the BIOS separately, that's all handled through Windows Update and modern management solutions. So it makes it much simpler to keep those devices secure. and there's that for that chip to cloud security we talked to. We also then talked about data three and how we can assist you to adopt these solutions across the test drive. We also talked about the workshops, and then we talked about deploy assist. So we are Microsoft's #1 partner in Australia when we have the capability across supply chain, people, solutions for modern work and security to assist you to adopt Surface securely. So with that, that's the end of the presentation. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. And if you've got any questions, please either come into the chat and we'll look at those questions and try and answer those, or reach out to any of the team. You can reach me at scott_gosling@data3.com.au, or you can actually reach us through any of these ways here. And with that, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.